afternoon. Has anybody been following the news this week? Would you be surprised to hear that a 4-year-old girl was killed by her father? This week in Texas, a 4-year-old girl was brutally beaten by her father. He punched her in the stomach and killed her because she was crying, because she was hungry, while he sat on the couch smoking marijuana. He had enough money to buy drugs, but he didn't have enough money to feed his daughter. May 2012, a 2-year-old boy died of malnutrition. During the autopsy, it was revealed he weighed 7 pounds, the weight of a newborn child. October 2012, a Texas mother was sentenced to 99 years in prison for beating her 2-year-old daughter. She superglued her hands to the wall and beat her because she peed in her pants. This type of abuse is becoming a common occurrence in our society. Children are being born into horrible situations: poverty, drug-addicted parents, and men and women who just don't want children. Becoming a parent should be an earned privilege, not a right. But what can we do to stop this? Well, I'll tell you what we can do. We can implement a parenting licensing system. Obtaining a license to have children would be like any other license that there is out there: a driver's license, a marriage license, a gun license, a hunting or a fishing license. I'd like to talk to you about the need for a license to have children. Second, how we would go about implementing this program. And finally, if children were in your plan, how you and your significant other could achieve this. Poverty is the biggest link to child abuse and neglect. Children around the world are being born into poverty. 22% of children being born into the U.S. are born in low-income families. This number has risen 5% since 2006 and continues to rise annually. Poverty is the biggest link to child neglect and abuse. Having a license would educate prospective parents of the need for appropriate finances, mental capability, and the ability to provide support. The problem is that we are having children without realizing what goes into this. The cost, the support, the time. Children not only need time and money, you have to raise them to become productive members of society so that they may be able to self-support themselves and become educated. Of the 22% of children born into poverty, 22% of those don't graduate from high school, and 21% of those spend at least half of their years in adult years in poverty. Poverty is a major risk factor, and the conditions exacerbate the risks. These risks are like homelessness, lack of basic needs, inadequate supervision, substance abuse, and domestic violence. And it just keeps, children being born into poverty just keeps increasing. This is not only a problem nationally, but worldwide. More than 5 children die every day as a result of child abuse. In 1999, 85% of states identified poverty and substance abuse as the top 2 problems in CPS service agencies. Children who experience child abuse and neglect are more likely to become juvenile offenders, more likely to become arrested as an adult, and more likely to commit violent crime. The estimated annual cost of child abuse and neglect in the United States in 2008 was $124 billion. That's a lot of money. And we're all affected by this, either directly or indirectly. You're sitting here asking, okay, I understand, this is a big problem, but what can I do to help? If we could implement a licensing system, we could prevent children from being born into these situations. But how would we do this? I know it's a big program, but it's easy. We would get parents to apply for a license. There would be requirements: a drug test, financial screening, parenting classes, psychological exam, and signing an agreement to care and love that child. A parenting license would set that standard that in order to assume responsibility for raising a child, you should be able to be responsible for your own life. It would provide an opportunity to inform parents about parenting resources. They would become more educationally and mentally prepared and would be both in agreement to have this child. How would we, what agency would take care of this? Every welfare state agency office would become a licensing agent. And we would make it a state law with administrative consequences for failing to obtain a license prior to having a child. Although these steps sound tedious, we would definitely be able to see a change in the children being born into society. Obtaining a license to parent would not only benefit the child, but the state. A parenting license would drastically reduce the time and effort social services and legal systems now must devote to the prosecution of child abuse and neglect cases. A parenting license would place that responsibility on the parents to be competent. The time has come for us to protect our children from abuse and neglect. As it now stands, we only intervene after they've been damaged. I know this law would be difficult to get society to agree to, but we need to focus on that we're trying to protect the children. Becoming a parent is one of the most important decisions you can ever make and the greatest gift you could ever give and receive. I told you about the need for a license, how you get a license, and how children in society will benefit from this. We all knew that child that grew up with a hard life. That child could have been you. Please make a call to your local legislator to make this law. Remember, it's your right to procreate, but who protects a defenseless child?